Here we are in Atlantis. We've picked up pretty much exactly from last time. I haven't changed anything. Apart from I did swap this out for this one. I just want to give it a go for a little while. It's got a lot of nice stats on it. The offensive ability too is quite good if you watch. That's a lot for this point in the game. Yeah, we'll see how it goes compared to this. I may swap it back over at some point. It's hard to tell which is actually better. They both seem pretty close to each other. I'll give this one a go for now. But yeah, okay, Atlantis. This is a hard act, this one. I'd say it's probably the hardest act in terms of regular enemies. Just maybe not bosses, although it does have quite a few difficult bosses too. The regular enemies itself are really deadly in this act. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's the higher PS or high physical damage, something like that. You always take a lot of damage here. It's a long act too. I'd say it's probably longer than Act 3, especially because the enemies take longer to kill. You get bogged down now. Now, some people like to skip Atlantis because they think it's not worth it. There's no quest rewards you get for doing it, aside from experience. You don't get any stat points or skill points or anything. But I still recommend it. It's good for leveling up. There's some decent items you can find. And plus, what's the point in skipping? I mean, you just want to get to the point of the game where you stop playing as fast as possible? No, that's kind of stupid. Play it, enjoy it. It's a beautiful act. It's fun, it's difficult. Yeah, this thing, the damage seems to be doing pretty good. It's keeping up, that's for sure. I don't know how much of this act I'll keep in the video. Oof, that's kind of laggy. Probably just the bosses mostly, and I'll show off how dangerous the general enemies can be. Like these guys here, these, I don't know how to pronounce them, but look at that, that's a lot of damage. Just off these regular guys here. They can be quite threatening. There are a few monster-infrequents you can go for here. I suppose I should show off a couple of those. Just be safe and pause it. I don't know the names off the top of my head, but they should be easy enough to find. Okay, yeah, these ones here, the geomancers, they probably won't be worth it for us. I doubt we'll hit the intelligence requirements. But as you can see, 300, 600 and 450 health. That can be quite good, especially when it's boosted by all these percentage multipliers. And there is a strength version of that too. There we go, the Red Fist. 400, 800 and 600. They're rare, they're not the easiest monster-infrequents to farm. You can go for them, and I've done a build where I've used 3 or 4 of them before. And the flat health adds up, it's quite good. Eventually, you end up getting so much flat health here that having the percentage just beats out even these ridiculous numbers. But not normal, epic, yeah, go for it, they're great. And you farm them from these guys here. I like to farm them later on in Africa. That's the best place I've found. You tend to get the most of them there, and there's a good save point you can use to farm them. I don't think I will for this character. I'll probably just get through it. And even these guys here, there's mudmen, and I think there's a different version of them later on. Even they can do a lot of damage. They take a while to kill. Yeah, look at that, 800 health. If I had 2 or 3 of those at once, that's a lot. And they're tanky too, which makes them a little annoying. Oh, I should pop this back on. Need that money. Yeah, this act there's a lot of dangerous enemies. Just the regular ones you encounter everywhere. They just do so much. There's the bosses too. There's a few, like the very first one we're going to fight. I'd say is probably the most dangerous in this act. Except for maybe the Telkine. He's pretty dangerous too. Something else I wanted to point out as well. You notice the damage we're doing here? Having no trouble at all clearing. Despite the fact that I'm still using these, which you find early in Act 1. That's how good these are. They're still holding up. They're comparable to pretty much anything else you'll have at this point in the game. They are so strong. Now I think I'll probably just skip through the first part of this and bring you back around the bus. It is quite difficult. What did we get here? That's not bad. I would like to get a better shield, one that has better basic stats on it, like better damage, better block chance. Fortunately, well, unfortunately, this one didn't roll too well. Just the stats in this aren't great. The strength and health are fantastic, but apart from that, you really want something better to start making use of this and the skill too. No, I think I don't have any goals for this act. There's nothing in particular I really want. I'd like to get maybe 1-2 more level ups by the end of it, so we can start working our way here. And this is the thing I want next. This one, and then probably max this out. I would like to get the defensive ability before Hades. You really need it in that act. Now we're coming up on that first boss I was talking about. He's actually killed me once before when I was doing pretty much this exact same character. He does a particularly high amount of burst damage. He'll blow through a third or more of your health instantly, and he can do that in rapid succession. And I should talk about these guys too. They also hurt a lot. I'll let them hit me for a bit. This is just 2 of them, how fast they're bringing my health down. Be careful with those guys too. These things here, these beacons, they're decent for experience. I'd recommend destroying them. And there's the boss down there. Make sure to clear out this area first. You don't want extra enemies running down while you're fighting the boss. That's not fun. He also spawns those, whatever they're, crawling zombie looking things too. I'd say this is probably the fight I hate doing the most, just because of how easy it is to die. Actually, no, that's a lie. Loki is worse, but this guy's probably number 2. If I were you, I would recommend gaining the extra level here. I really should, but we'll see how we go. Now, he chases you, he moves fast, he summons enemies, he can stun you. I believe he can heal himself with a kind of like a spirit's life drain sort of attack. I'm not too sure about that though. He'll chase you all the way up to about here somewhere before he stops. Though I've had him follow me all the way up here before a couple of times. I'm not sure what triggers that. Try and kill his summons as fast as you can, because they do a lot of damage very quickly. He does an attack similar, that one, to Hades. You don't want to get hit by it because it'll shotgun you. Here he is summoning these guys. You really want to get rid of them as fast as you can. The disruption's quite annoying too, stopping me from casting spells. This is just his first form too. I tend to find this one's more dangerous, the first one, but this one's still pretty threatening too. His damage types, I think Vitality, Lightning, maybe Physical. He's very fast too, which is hard. It's hard to... yeah, as I said, you get to about this point and he'll stop chasing you. Fortunately, he hasn't seemed to have summoned much in this fight. Sometimes I've had him just constantly just spamming enemies out. Yeah, this fight wasn't too bad, but I really recommend being careful. I have died before too. Oh, those braces we just picked up. They're okay. We won't reach the intelligence to use them, but yeah, they look cool. For a little while now, there's not too much else that's very dangerous. The next boss, he can be a little troubling. I wouldn't say he's as bad as King Anthonio we just fought. Just saw them. Now, while we're here, there's another thing I should bring up too. See if we can find one. There we go. These Tinkerer items, they're very, very strong. The ones you really want with this character in particular are rings and amulets. If you find a good ring or an amulet with Tinkerer on it, say if you get Hail of the Tinkerer, or Hardy or Robust of the Tinkerer, they can be the best items you'll find in the entire game. No. Yeah, basically they allow you to reach this cap much easier, allowing you to drop a lot of your relics. It gives you more freedom to find other stats. You can pick up attack speed or movement speed or physical resistance, which is also something I wanted to talk about too. Physical resistance is very strong. It's even in Cursed, it's good. Now, I wouldn't say it's as good as it is non-cursed, obviously, but my reasoning for bringing it up is your physical resistance here, negative 50% you sit at typically. When you're applying, say, the 6% from this, that's only half effective, so you're only getting around about, it's like a 4% reduction in physical, which is good. That's a lot. You put on 2 or 3 of those, that's a significant reduction in damage. I just find it's not worth losing the extra health or the vitality resistance, where you can kind of cheat your way into not physical resistance but the same effect through your shield, through stacking dexterity to get yourself a lot of defensive ability. It doesn't work the same way, and the shield and your defensive ability don't always apply. Like enemies can overpower your shield, and defensive doesn't always work out to apply on every hit. But they achieve the same thing. Now, if you can freely get physical resistance at any point, to go for it. It's probably the resistance I recommend the most. Pierce is really good too. That if you can squeeze it in and not lose out on any vitality or health, then yeah. Physical resistance, then Pierce probably. You also use fire resistance too, but I only ever use that against the 10 Suns, and maybe Surtur if I happen to have something good enough for him. Yeah, physical resistance is worth a thought. I just wouldn't go out of my way for it. Alright, we're just about to hit the next level up. And I figured I might as well talk about the enemies around here too. These giants, they can be pretty dangerous too. The archers, you get a few of those around you, the damage will add up. They're not too bad though. They do take a little while to kill, which can be dangerous in its own right. But they're not too bad. There's other guys around here that are much worse than these. I'll point them out, see if I can find some. Here we are. These guys here, these serpents. They can roll with a lot of items that can be particularly deadly. They move fast, they chase you down very easily. Yeah, these guys here. They're squishy, which is good. Means that they won't be a problem for long, but they can swarm you. They always seem to carry spears. And items that tend to roll with things like resistance reduction or armor reduction. You get any of that on these guys while they're all swarming you, and you can die very easily. As you can see, the enemies here, I'm just constantly taking a ton of damage. It gets even worse later on when the crowds get bigger. We're not too far away from the next boss, so I think I'll probably just run straight to him. Oof, the lag, that'll get you killed. Jeez. And these mudmen, they're just terrible. They make everything worse. And these here, you have to watch out for. They'll do damage. I think they slow you down too. These little turret things. I always get lost in this cave. I think it's just up here. Yep, here it is. Now this boss, he's not too bad. He can hurt. He makes himself invincible for a little bit of time. He summons those towers I was talking about. But he's not too bad. Just constantly move. Stay out of the way of these little summons that he makes. Just hit and run. His regular attack, I'll eat a few of those just in a second. To try and show you the damage you can do. It's not insignificant, so you don't want to stand still against this guy. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, you can do it pretty quickly too. Fortunately, he's not the most aggressive boss. He's easy to play around. He doesn't have any significant stuns. Like he can trap you with that wave he shoots, but it doesn't last very long. It's enough time to run away. So I wouldn't worry about him too much. I also wouldn't recommend farming him either. They never get anything good. Well, I guess I was lying. Okay, that's kind of nice. You really don't see that much. I'm not sure what to do with that. I might just activate it now. I don't know, I'll hang on to it. I hate getting these things because I hang on to them forever and never use them. And so they build up in my stash. Okay, here we are in Africa. This is probably my favourite part of the entire act. It's just gorgeous. Please. Yeah, I love the look of this area. It's just beautiful. Now, these guys here are probably the most dangerous enemies, at least in this area. Maybe the raptors, I think they might be a little bit more deadly. There's just not many of them, so you don't have to worry about them too much. Now, this is the area where you can find some of the items I was mentioning before. Where are we? These ones here, there's Red Fist. If you want to farm for these, which I'd recommend giving it a go at least, they're not too bad. You grab the first waypoint up ahead, which is this one here. You grab this and run backwards from it. Yeah, jeez, look at the damage I'm taking. That is crazy. They just do so much. The fact they can roll with throwing weapons really doesn't help, because throwing weapons are honestly a little overpowered, the damage they do. You always want to be careful with them. Don't fight too many of them at once. I think we're not too far away from that area I was talking about. I might just sprint it for you. I'll just run through as fast as I can. I'll come back and do all the quests along the way here. Off screen. They're just experience, really. These guys here, these raptors, they do a lot of damage. They hit fast, they chase you. There's bigger ones too, which are even stronger. Yeah, these ones. You want to be careful with these. See how fast I'm running? There's a little trick you can do. I can't pull it off consistently, but if you use Shield Charge or Thunderstrike and click off at the right moment that you're charging, you can keep the movement speed from it. I'll see if I can pull it off. It's quite difficult to do. There we go. I had it for a second. But yeah, I think it's you have to click off the shield charge just before it hits, and you can keep the movement speed going for as long as you can keep moving. It's a neat little trick I like to use when farming areas that require you to run a long distance. I believe this is the right way. No, I went the wrong way. I'll come back here in a moment. Excuse me. I just want to show off this farming spot. I enjoy it myself. I find it it's a fun farm to do because there's two things you can make use of while you're doing it. Not only do you farm for the items themselves, but you can also shop farm while you're doing it. Yeah, but just up ahead. This here is the area I recommend farming these guys. Both just back there and ahead from here too. You grab this. Yeah. You load from here. You can grab the waypoint. No, waypoint. The Rebirth Fountain up ahead. It's around here somewhere. You do that, run through, farm everything through here, down to around here is usually where I'll stop, because once you run into the raptors, that's where I'll stop. These guys here, they stop spawning. But yeah, you can farm for these. There's a red fist. I'll bring them all up first. There we go. You're probably not going to get much use out of these ones, because stone bandage is obviously better than that they will ever be. But you can go for the helmet, the legs, and the chest. The other items themselves, maybe you could roll something okay. The twin darts might be alright. But yeah, mostly you want to go for these three. And just grab the fountain, clear, there's some here, all the way through, and you stop around here somewhere. And as you're doing it, each time you come here, check this shop. It's a decent way, and you just look at all the greens as you go through and check them for Tinkerer, because there's every chance you could get a Tinkerer here, Tinkerer of resistance or health, strength or something. It could beat out just having the hail or Hydra or whatever it is that you actually have. 2 relics is good enough to match it. So if you happen to find them while you're farming here, why not? They can be deadly, so ensure you're strong enough to do it. But it can be a good farm. The experience isn't too bad. The one reason I recommend farming it, despite the danger, is that none of the enemies are bursty. They won't instantly chunk you for 3/4 of your health. It's always the same 10%, 10%, 10%. You can manage it. It's not lethal damage. Your health potion can keep you going. And here's the fountain. So I like to do it. I probably won't with this character. I'm happy with how he is right now. He feels strong enough. But yeah, and what you can also do is while you're here, you can endlessly farm the shops. I do this one here. You get the shop in the main town, this shop here. And once you have reached Atlantis Wilderness, which is this one, you farm the shop there. You go from this one to this one to this one, and you can do that over and over and over again. And it puts enough time in between teleports that the shops will reset their inventory. So you can just sit there for, you open up a YouTube video or a podcast or something in the background, just run it over and over again. Sit here, check the shops, check the next one, keep going through. Eventually you will get Tinkerer. They might not be good. Most of the time you'll just get, say, a jewel or a Kuklais of the Tinkerer, and that's it. There won't be any other bonus on it. And yeah, they can be worth using, but I really like to have something extra on there too, like a resistant, something like this, insulated. Yeah, preferably you want something a little higher than 6%. But yeah, you will find them. You will find resistant, or I believe it's resistant. It might be insulated. It's the one that rolls with 2. And those can be good enough to swap out for. You can get enough resistance to make a difference, at least at in normal difficulty. By the time you get to legendary though, your resistances are so far in the negatives that any resistance for like cold, fire, lightning or poison, it's not going to make that much of a difference. I wouldn't recommend it. The only time I'd recommend doing that, you overstack fire resistance to go all the way from negative, whatever it is, negative 200 all the way to 50%, just for the 10 suns right at the end of the game in Eternal Embers. But that's so far away you don't have to worry about it now. But yeah, I'd recommend doing the Tinkerer ring and amulet farm, and it's worth taking a peek here. Sometimes you can find a hail suit, hail legs or helmet with them. They're very rare to get these stats, and the Tinkerer, it could take hours and hours and hours of farming, but they're very good if you want to put the effort in. And bonus points too to check for a shield. A shield would be really good if you can find one with hail on it, even better. But just to get one with the better stats on it, like that's 50% more damage, 50% block chance, 50% more block damage, just about. It's strong. For now though, I'll probably just sprint to the next boss. This next boss can be a little dangerous. He's easy to dodge all of his attacks, and the main thing he does that's lethal is he'll summon these little bastards, and he keeps summoning them through the entire fight. And they're harder to deal with than he is, because you have to take care of them. Otherwise they're just going to sit there and nip at your feet the entire fight. It's bloody annoying, it's the damage they do. Oh, and there's something else here too that's quite... Oh, speak of the devil, these things, the basilisks, they can kill you. If you get hit by them, you'll die. If you have other enemies around you, I'm trying to get him to this thing here. That will turn you to stone, like the Medusa and the other Gorgons do. It lasts a long time. They do a lot of damage in their own right too. Throw a few more enemies in. That's enough to kill you. I recommend skipping them. Just run past them. Especially with these little raptor bastards around you. They're dangerous. In this whole area, I never farm anything here. It's too dangerous. There's not much you can get from it. You can, if you want to, you can farm here. I believe these giants have some sort of monster-infrequent. I might be wrong about that though. The giants, they take forever to kill, they have so much health. Oof, yeah, you really want to be careful of this guy. I think he's killed me before. We're not too far away from the boss. Just, you don't want to pull any of them up, so take care of them before you go into the fight itself. Now this dragon, he mostly just fires ranged projectiles at you, which they're easy enough to dodge. Dodge them, run around him in a circle, just loop him. He'll fly to the middle of the arena and climb up in the air. He's not too bad. Just watch out for the summons, dodge his attacks. I think he's poison one. He's probably the more dangerous. Yeah. This one, that's the one I'd probably recommend dodging. The fire isn't too bad. Here's the little bastards, these buggers. They're not so bad on their own, but the fact you're dealing with him at the same time, they can really do a lot of damage. I'm trying to get him to fly. Yeah, here he is. And he can sit here for a long time just doing this. You can hit him with throwing weapons or a bow while he's up there. But see, this is easy. You just loop him, as I said, run around. He's not too bad. He will hurt if he actually gets the shot in on you. But he's so easy to dodge that I never have trouble with him. I found him, he might actually be a little more difficult on later difficulties too. No, obviously, but I mean, relative to where you are, I think he gets harder overall. I don't think I've ever dropped that at him before. Yeah, I think that's a new one for me. Reduced resistances, that's very good. Wow. This is really good. Holy shit. The damage from devices isn't too great. But the energy cost, that's good. Experience, reduced resistances. It gives you Monster Lure. And Monster Lure is quite a good skill. Yeah, I actually quite like that. I don't think I've ever had it. One of the few items I've never seen. Huh. Oh, I'm keeping that. Stick it in my Titan Quest vault. But yeah, that boss fight, not too bad. Just watch out for the little ankle biting bastards he drops out. They can hurt. Dodge his attacks, just loop him. It's not hard to do. His attack is slow, it's telegraphed, it has a lot of projectile travel time. He's easy. And one thing you should make a habit of doing, every time you teleport back to town, check the shops for things like this, the Tinkerer, which you're not going to use because you won't stone bounties, but if you find something like this with resistances or health, they can be great. Even a weapon too. Weapon can be really good because you can make great use of two of these. Like you could throw in one of these, which would be good, and you can buff it with the attack speed here, either both of these. Sometimes you can roll decent bonuses. This is a good idea too. There's plenty. Even this works alright. Life loot isn't bad. But yeah, this guy is the main one you want to check. Nothing at the moment, but yeah, and he's easy to, they're very fast farm too. Just chuck it. We're just about at the point where we can do that farm I was talking about. And here's the shop, this guy here. Let's take a look. And there's a Tinkerer. You could debatably swap that for one of my rings. It would be about on par. You could throw in another relic. It'd be about as good. I'm gonna stick with what I've got, unless I happen to find one of these with life on it. But yeah, what you want to do, equip movement speed like this. Make sure you have enough strength to see all of the strength items, which I believe we did. Yeah. Okay. Almost double the amount we need. And yeah, run between this waypoint, this one, and this one, and just check them over and over and over again. The shops. And you can farm up very strong items, things that you can swap out here and here and here. Everything really, even weapons you can find great Atlantis items. I'll do one just to show you an example of it. There's always a bit more load time whenever I'm recording, which is a little annoying. But yeah, check the shops. I don't often check the weapons, but you can. And one thing too I'd recommend, every now and then you'll find, say, a weapon or some random epic item with movement speed on it. Hang on to them. So if you want to sink the time into doing this kind of farm, just equip them all. To speed you up. Make sure you've got your movement speed from this as well. It's useful when running between. Like, you want to go as fast as you can. I'm doing this in the reverse order I usually do it. Typically I'll go from top to bottom. Doesn't really matter though. And yeah, just check them as you go through. Now you can make use of too, one other thing. Say if I drop this here, to save a little bit of time, you can teleport to that one, as long as you don't use it to teleport away. Say if I'll be doing this, you can save yourself half a run basically to the waypoint or from the waypoint each time. Just a little trick. And so after we check this shop, hey, that's an upgrade. 2% strength. I'll take it. Okay, and so you take this one. You don't use the waypoint itself, and you'll notice, I believe I'm doing this in the right order, I think. Yeah, just drop one. Chuck it. oops, use it to jump to that. It saves you, yeah, so what's that, 1/6 of the running time, more or less. It's quite nice. Yeah, there's one. You could use that. In fact, something like this I will keep, and I probably won't use it until all the way till Legendary. Because they're all with fire resistance, I can put another 2 relics on there with fire resistance, and you can get 100, 150% depending on what you do. So it's a big jump. You throw in another item, you can cap out your fire resistance. It's good for Surtur. It's good for the 10 Suns. Yeah, I'll keep that. I'll hang on to this for now. I might do a few runs here myself just to, you know, roll the dice. Maybe I'll get lucky. But yeah, I'd recommend it. It's a good farm. It's easy. Watch YouTube in the background or something. Alrighty, here we've got another enemy that's worth mentioning. These purple looking salamanders. They hurt really quickly. You fight 2 or 3 at once, that's a lot of damage. The poison too. It adds up. You'll be taking consistent hits, and you really don't want to be taking the damage over time on top of that from the poison. They always tend to spawn in groups of 2, 3, 4. So it's a lot of damage. You don't want to be fighting them at the same time you're fighting anything else either. Like here's the poison. That's a lot. And when he's hitting me, you'll be taking 1500 damage a second more. Just be careful with those guys too. Now, there's a few other enemies here that are a little deadly. Like, these guys here aren't too bad. But there are boss versions of them, and there's quite a few boss versions of them too. Yeah, there's like a mage version, a warrior. There might be an archer. I can't remember actually all of them. But yeah, there's a few, and they can hurt. They can be tanky. They'll do a lot of damage. They usually have a lot of friends with them too. So from here onwards, once you get to here, like all of Atlantis is dangerous. But once you get into Atlantis proper, be careful. It's easy to underestimate them. Like everything here hurts. All the enemies, everything does a lot of damage. It's the kind of place where, if you really want to be safe about it, I'd use this setup as opposed to the throwing. It just affords you that little bit extra bit of survivability. It could make all the difference. It might be slower, sure, but if it keeps you alive. One thing too, I may have mentioned this before, but space out your stuns. Like you have your stun here, and you have a stun here. Rather than do them back to back, I'll try and bring some guys. Nah, I'll just do it. Alright, so you stun them. Don't immediately use your Thunderstrike. Wait for the stun to wear off and then hit them with the next stun. You want to get the most downtime on the enemies. So the longer you can keep them from attacking you, the better. It becomes a lot more powerful once you sink more points into it, especially once you get this up too, which I probably should do if I'm being honest. I should probably put at least 1 point there, as long as I'm using a mace. It is good. The extra chance of stun duration. Don't underestimate it. Okay, I didn't get fire. There's more enemies I wanted to talk about too. These guys, they can be tanky. They take a while to go down. They always come in groups of 2 or 3. And they do a lot of damage. Have a look at that. That's just crazy. You don't want to be fighting them at the same time you're fighting something else. No, they're just nasty bastards. Fortunately, there's not too many of them. But keep them in mind. Pull back. Split them up if you can. So here's one of the things I was talking about earlier. These bosses, these big versions of the Triton looking guys. All of them can be dangerous in their own way. They're not overly difficult, but this guy you want to be careful of. He summons these little towers, and they can do quite a bit of damage. Best thing to do is just run him away. He'll chase you, pull him out of range of those. Yeah, you just want to be careful. Like, look at that damage. That's crazy. That was just 2 of them. You don't want to be fighting him on top of those at the same time. Oh, and I popped the potion of experience I found before. Yeah, there's quite a few of those kinds of bosses around here. They're all a little bit different from each other, but they can all be dangerous to a degree. Just be careful. Run away. Make sure you say you're going down here to fight him. Make sure you've cleared out the area around it first, just in case you have to run away. You don't want to be running into other groups of enemies while you're dealing with something dangerous. Just play smart like that. And the next dangerous enemy. This guy's a real bugger too. He can kill you pretty quickly. This guy, this high priest. Make sure you've cleared out his friends first. There's someone either side that can get in the way. He does quite a bit of damage himself. I think he can reflect your damage. I might be thinking of someone else though. I'll see if I can get him to do it. I believe he also reduces your resistances too. He casts Plague on you from Nature Mastery. Yeah, he's not too bad. He's just... be careful of the arena. It's a rather small area. He can do a lot of damage very quickly, and if he's got a lot of his friends around him, that can kill you. Annoying bastard. He runs around a lot too. And I think we're not too far away from another dangerous enemy as well. Another one who's very similar to him. Now, not these ones, but there are the mage versions of these purple guys. I'll try and find one. But they can cast reflect damage, same as in Act 3, the blue Dragonians that reflect your damage. They can do the same thing. It puts that orange bubble over them. Just be careful. You don't want to hit them while they've got that up. I think he's just up here. See if there's any mages. Oh. Yes. This one here I'll keep in my inventory. It's okay for farming, but the 30% total speed means your movement speed would be, yeah, that's kept up. It's good for running, good for shop farming. It's also not half bad itself too. You lose a bit of offensive ability, which is kind of shitty. But the dodge and avoid, that's very strong. I think we're getting close to him. Yeah, he's just up here. This guy can be pretty dangerous. He lays down mines all over the place, like this. They can hurt. He runs around. He's unpredictable. Yeah, this guy. Like that. I believe he does vitality. Maybe bleed. Lightning as well. You don't want to walk into those. And there's the reflect damage. See that bubble? Just don't attack him while he's like that. You're just asking to get yourself killed. You can manipulate him by playing around corners, because he can be troublesome to chase down. He'll run away. If you know what you're getting into, he's not too bad. You can slug it out with him or out. Just be careful, he'll activate that reflect damage very often. And if I cast Thunderstrike, I'm probably going to kill myself against that, or at least do a lot of damage. It doesn't seem to last very long, which is good. Wears off quickly for him, this spell. Has a short duration, I guess. He doesn't stop moving, this guy. Feels like my attacks just aren't hitting him. Oh well, he's dead. But yeah, be careful with him. He can be annoying. Honestly, that goes without saying for almost every enemy in this entire act. They're annoying, they do a lot of damage. Just be careful in general. Atlantis is more dangerous than it seems at first. I may have forgotten to kill one enemy. I might not even be able to get in here. I've kind of skipped through a lot of this area. Let's take a peek. No, good. Sometimes this can be blocked off if you didn't kill the red enemies. Some of those bosses that are all around the place. I'm not sure if it was just that guy, the snake that we just killed, that unlocks the barrier, or if you have to kill more of them. I'm not sure. I've skipped a lot of quests getting here, so I will go back and clear them out myself. Same with the ones back in Africa. I think I've still got that letter floating around. I need to pick up some more of these. So I'll go through here and I'll kill off the Telkine, and then off screen I'll do all the quests just to get the extra experience. Now the boss coming up, he's not too bad. Tiamat. He can hurt, but you can manage him very easily. You just fight him one head at a time. Or her. Is Tiamat a woman? I don't know my mythology very well. Not too sure. I looked that up myself afterwards. Okay, here we go. And yeah, if you can just take the heads on one at a time. Oh, look at this idiot. What is he doing there? Go away. This the tail that will stun you, so stay on either side of it, just to avoid it. And yeah, the damage it does itself, not too bad. Just don't do a stupid thing and try and fight with all three of them, like in the middle. You're just asking to get yourself killed. As you can see, it is not a hard boss fight, this one. It's the next one that I honestly, I might even die to it. It's that hard, unpredictable. Definitely the hardest Telkine in the game, that's for sure. Garbage chest, never get anything good here. I really should get this level up before I fight the Telkine. In fact, I think I probably will. I'll clear everything on the way to it, and if that's not enough, I'll teleport somewhere else. Get the rest of the experience, and then I'll bring you back at the Telkine fight. Alright, I needed a little bit more experience. There should be some enemies around here. I took the portal back just before I was about to fight the Telkine. There we go. I still feel nervous about this fight. Every time. Okay, we got this at least. That's good. What do I want to do with this last point? I think probably there. No, I'd rather the raw stats. And I put both into health just to be safe. Yeah, this fight worries me. I would say it's probably hardest on normal difficulty. I'm going to keep these on for the movement speed more than anything, because in this fight you need to move around very fast and frequently. I don't have any items here that'll help with it. Alright, and the first phase is harder than the second one. When they all combine and turn into the big crab looking thing, that's easy. It's this fight right here is the hard part. He'll shoot. His most dangerous attack is probably this, where he fires maybe 5 spears at you at once. They have long travel distance and they'll do a lot of damage. He can also make himself invincible for a little while. And the clones he summons, they're very annoying too. That does a lot of damage. He's fast, he chases you down. See those purple spears? You don't want to take those. Nor the ball thing, like kind of a meteor attack. That hurts a lot too. Yeah, if you notice, I'm just taking a whole shitload of damage. That was half my health from eating those spears. It's going to be a long fight. It typically is. Just because you have to constantly be moving, dodging. I highly recommend using the throwing weapons over melee in this fight. it's too dangerous not to. It's a bitch of a fight, this one. It reminds me a little bit of a Path of Exile boss for how over the top he is. If the ghosts are annoying you, you can kill them, they die very quickly. Oh, I should be using this too. I forgot, just got it. God, those purple spears, they do so much. I think they also prevent you from using spells for a little while too. I might be wrong about that, it could be another attack. He's finally done that thing where he goes invincible. I believe you can't target him. So I just like to leave him alone. Eventually it'll wear off. There we go. Ah, shit, you got me. That does so much friggin' damage. It's crazy. I don't know what damage type it is. Damage over time. It could be bleed, it could be poison. I don't actually know. He's getting there. He's almost done. Shit. It's a lot of consistent damage too. You're constantly using health potions just to keep up. Finally, jeez Louise. Okay, and you'd think this form would be harder, but it's really not. He can kill you, but he's nothing in comparison to the previous form. I'd say those are probably the most dangerous part. If you happen to be standing where he summons it, it'll do a lot of damage very quickly. But yeah, he himself, he's not difficult. He's also easier to damage too, because with your Thunderstrike, he's easy to land all 10 hits. You can shotgun him, whereas the Telkine version, you'd land maybe 1 or 2 at a time if you're lucky. There we go. That was Atlantis. What we get? Now I'm going to go back myself and finish all the quests off. I want to get the rest of the experience. It'll probably be half a bar, maybe more, worth of just quest rewards. And I think I did something stupid in that fight. I may have let the Rune of Life wear off and not reactivate it. I didn't notice. That was silly of me. What do we get here? Oh, not bad. I don't mind them. Look pretty cool too. But yeah, that is a hard fight. It's an endurance fight too for how long he takes to kill. One thing you could do is go ahead and you could probably do all of Hades. Hell, you could do all of Ragnarok too if you really wanted. One thing you can pick up from Ragnarok that makes this fight here in particular easier. Colossus, you feel a lot safer fighting the first form when you have it up because of the damage absorption. You can pick up the... might as well show you. I don't know. These ones, they do the same thing. It's the same spell. But yeah, to have 2 of them, you buy these in, I think, towards the middle of Ragnarok. Some of the shops, I know you can pick it up in, what's the place called? Just after you fight Odin. Once you fight him, the shop just behind him, they sell these. They're very good. What I'd recommend doing, take the time, save your money, and buy 20, 30 of them, and just store them in your inventory. Keep them. Use them for boss fights. Use them for traveling, because you get the increased movement speed too. And to have 2 of these panic buttons, basically, it makes your character very strong. You get a lot more control. Fights like this become much more manageable. You can take the risk to stand still and just hit him more while you have this up. Because 32% damage absorption is huge. And I believe, yeah, these ones give 40% flat. You don't need to bother with the epic or legendary versions of them. You can stick with these the entire time. They're good. Get a lot of them. And yeah, it could be worth it to you. If you don't think you're skilled enough to do this fight, go to Ragnarok, pick up some of them, then come back and do Atlantis. You don't have to do Atlantis first. I just like to do it because I like the challenge. It's fun. I find the enemies enjoyable to fight. Yeah, he's a hard son of a bitch, that fight. Just be careful. Yeah, that was it. Next up is Hades. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.